Howdy folks, Jamboriki here. Let's talk about the Powerpuff Girls. It was a TV show that ran for many years on Cartoon Network and became a big hit. It had some lovable lead heroes, a unique, colourful art style, and a gallery of highly entertaining villains that managed to be scary and funny at the same time. In 2002, the show was given its own feature-length adaptation. The Powerpuff Girls movie is an American 2D animated action fantasy that's a prequel to the Cartoon Network series. The city of Townsville is rampant with crime, and there doesn't seem to be much hope of change. One night, a scientist called Professor Utonium ends up creating 3 superpowered little girls. The professor wants these girls to bring some good into Townsville, but it won't be easy. The girls struggle to adapt to the world around them, and to make things worse, they end up being manipulated by a homeless monkey called Mojo Jojo, who wants to use the girls' powers for his secret diabolical plan. So, can the girls live in Townsville peacefully, and will they be able to stop the villain they naively helped? Now, before I start, I must let people know that I'm going to be reviewing this movie as a single product. If a film has to rely on the audience's knowledge of a TV show, or a comic, or a book, or a game, then it's failed as a movie, because it's going to alienate audiences who aren't aware of its source material. I'm looking at you, Bionicle Trilogy. With that being said, what can I say about this film? Well, for what it is, it's actually a good effort. These little girls have been gifted with godlike powers, but the film doesn't portray them as perfect saints. No, instead they are written as hyperactive, cheeky, playful, moody and wide-eyed children. How real kids act. It's almost heartbreaking to see these very young girls having to deal with such a heavy burden as superpowers. They just want to have fun and fit in with the other kids, but they don't know their own strength. It doesn't help that their father is a bumbling nitwit, who spends most of the movie in jail and hasn't taught them right from wrong or how the world works. So Blossom, Buttercup and Bubbles have to accept their powers, take on the responsibility of being superheroes, and question themselves all on their own, just after being born. They must develop their own morals, learn from their own mistakes, and grow up together under little time in order to adapt to the society around them. This is pretty powerful stuff, and the movie really captures the scope of the girls' anxiety. We can really feel the weight of their hardship, especially in this one particular scene. There's no music, just the silence of space and the cold feeling of sadness. Just watch it. How deep is that? This movie effectively displays 3 children suffocating under the pressure of having superpowers. It's really moving, and made me sympathize with the girls. They're not stupid or selfish, they're just innocent and naive. They have good intentions, but they don't understand the world around them. They've just hatched into existence. What else can I say? Well, the movie does offer a few laughs now and again. We're given some funny one-liners, many wacky moments, and plenty of surreal, oddball humour. The funniest sequence, in my opinion, has to be how far the girls take a game of tag. It's hilarious watching these adorable kids having fun playing, ignorant to the destruction they leave behind. This game of tag becomes so epic and so over the top that it's hard not to laugh at its ludicrous scale. This is the kind of humour the film goes for, a style of comedy that's so crazy and weird that it's amusingly entertaining. Blossom is the most sensible sister, but she's still just a kid. She may often know the right thing to do, but she can be just as naive as her siblings. She too falls for Mojo's manipulation. However, she is clearly the leader, and it's a job that suits her because she's capable of being straightforward and direct. Buttercup is aggressive, rude, and bad-tempered. She may sound unlikable from that description, but she's written as a cheeky tomboy with lots of spunk. It's her feisty attitude that makes her fun. Plus, she does have a caring side to her. She clearly loves the professor, and she does want to do the right thing. Bubbles is sweet, adorable, and definitely the most naive out of all the sisters. She's so delightfully cute that it's hard not to fall for her charm. However, I will admit that her whining can sometimes become grating to listen to.
Professor Utonium shows a lot of love for the girls and is excited about the idea of fatherhood. The problem is that, in my opinion, he's an idiot for pushing the girls into the world so early. They hadn't been taught values or slowly introduced to human culture, so of course they're going to put themselves and others in danger. It doesn't help that once the girls cause chaos, the professor never scolds them or explains why it was wrong to leave behind destruction. He just encourages them to no longer use their powers because the townspeople don't understand them. He sees the townspeople as overreactive and crazy for getting so upset.
Professor, are you high? Your girls destroyed half of Townsville! They have every right to be this upset! You can't blame them for your incompetent parenting, man. You can't be this forgiving. Without strict discipline or moral lessons, then these girls are gonna cause problems, especially seeing as they have superpowers. So, yeah, the professor comes off as a goofball lost in the clouds who never evolves or improves or develops as a parent. This guy is supposed to be a refined scientist. Where's his common sense?
Now, yes, he does say that he's going to teach the girls right from wrong and different lessons, but he never puts this plan into practice. Mojo Jojo is eccentric, theatrical, and goofy. He's highly entertaining because of his strange behaviour, melodramatic presence, and wacky insanity. The only problem is that the film doesn't fully explore Mojo Jojo's backstory. We see that Mojo used to live in the professor's lab, but this is never brought up again. Plus, the relationship between Jojo and the professor isn't further explored. All we find out is that he was a crazy lab monkey who grew a big brain and ended up living on the streets. That's about it.
Now, yes, there is an episode of the Powerpuff Girls that explores Mojo's origin story. But like I said, a film can't work on its own if it relies on the audience's knowledge of a specific thing. And people who haven't seen that particular episode of the Powerpuff Girls are going to feel alienated and confused, because they'll feel like something's missing from Mojo's character arc in the film, which makes it hard for them to connect to him.
The strongest aspect of this movie, in my opinion, has to be its distinct art style. The character designs are made up of pointed angular outlines or finely rounded shapes, each composed from thick, bold lines. There's a wonderful precise structure to every character's face and body, each one given a sharp construction that stands out against the sets. The backgrounds are exceptional too. Each piece of scenery has this lovely abstract layout that matches the rich polished character designs, helping the foreground balance neatly with the background. The animation certainly carries off the art style perfectly. Every movement and action retains the refined sharpness of each solid design. If the characters move too gracefully, like a Disney project, then it would potentially look overdone and not suit the designs. This style of movement doesn't make the animation seem cold or empty though, far from it. I mean, the animation is also capable of being wacky and exaggerated, to pull off comedic or silly moments. Plus, it knows when to settle down for sad or low-key scenes. The characters also showcase a variety of readable emotions too, helping us to understand what they're thinking or how they're trying to say something. They can look sad, frustrated, excited, scared, and much more. This makes it easier for us to connect to them. Kathy Cavadini voices Blossom. Her strong, direct, and bold delivery effectively matches the sincere and straightforward Blossom. E.G. Daily voices Buttercup. Daly's rough and gritty voice really fits her scrappy character.
Yeah, that was amazing with the trash can lid. It was all swish, bang, splash, bam, boom!
Tara Strong voices Bubbles, often managing to sound adorable and cutesy without being too obnoxious, although her whining may aggravate you now and again.
Tag, you're it! Oh no! I've been affected!
Alright, what's going on here?
I've been affected! I don't want to sleep on a rock!
Tom Kane provides the voice of the Professor, giving his character a fluent and well-spoken delivery, effectively reflecting an articulate scientist.
Oh, my name is, Professor Utonium. Hello!
Hello, Professor Utonium. It's very nice to meet you.
It's very nice to meet you, too. What are your names?
Well, you made us, so shouldn't you also name us?
Okay.
Roger L. Jackson plays Mojo Jojo, and he's brilliant. Jackson's hilarious dialect and theatrical reading really gives Jojo the personality that defines him.
Yeah! Woo! All right! I rock so hard. For I, Mojo Jojo, have succeeded in my first, greatest, and most brilliant plan ever. And I, Mojo Jojo, shall be King of the Planet of the Apes!
The music score, which was done by comedy film composer James L. Venable, is bloody excellent. It presents a wide variety of styles and genres that instinctively adapt to the visuals. There's happy pop beats for laid-back scenes, high-octane pumping techno rock for action sequences, grand theatrical orchestral pieces for epic scenes, and strange-sounding but soft music for sad parts of the film. Every composition is unique and wonderful to listen to, without being too distracting. I also love that Venable chose not to use music for some scenes, because it gives these parts of the film a naked, soulful emotion that lets the scene speak for itself. This makes the score seem humble.
To conclude, the Powerpuff Girls movie has a striking art style, animation that supports its designs, lovable sympathetic lead heroes, a unique music score, a fun villain, great comedy, and a touching story that explores the tragic burden of having superpowers at a very young age. However, it has a stupid and unsensible father character, and the backstory for its villain seems half-written. I'm going to give it 3.5 strawberries out of 5. Now, if there's some of you out there still wondering if this film is your cup of tea, then consider this. If you enjoyed such titles as The Incredibles or Astro Boy, then you might like the Powerpuff Girls movie. In fact, this film feels like Astro Boy if it stuck to its dark theme of playing God instead of becoming a dumbed-down Hollywood adventure. I've been Jamboriki, and I hope you enjoyed my review. Feel free to subscribe to my channel, and I encourage you to follow me on Facebook and Twitter. Now, what can I review next week? Oh, this is tough. I know how I can find out. I know how I can choose. Right. Sugar. Spice. And everything nice. These were the perfect ingredients to decide next week's film review. Oh wait, I need the special ingredient. Chemical egg.